Walking on the beach, stepping on the beach.
SpongeBob, the truest scat man.
SpongeBob, the truest anime.
SpongeBob is a true anime. Same with King of the Hill. King of the
Hill is an actual anime. SpongeBob, we're just joking around, but no one's gonna argue that King of the Hill is not an anime.
No one should argue that King of the Hill is not an anime. That's a sign that they're not truly into it.
This is the Protagonist Seat, a podcast where we talk about anime like King of the Hill
and SpongeBob.
Yeah. No, we don't talk about...
we meme about SpongeBob.
We meme about SpongeBob. Not that much, though. If you're not into SpongeBob, don't worry. We're just kidding.
Yeah, if you vitriolically just hate SpongeBob, don't worry about that.
But we talk about 10 anime, all from this current season.
Yeah, we picked 10 shows so far. Everyone's in stock. Episode 3, people are not... Well, one person's not looking so good, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, but let's start out, as we always do, with Fatal Grand Order.
Absolute demonic Babylonians.
Units.
They're an absolute... Dude, they are an absolute unit.
They are. We get a bunch of new absolute units.
Yeah, and they're creepy and weird, and I don't like them.
Okay, so Anna and Gorgon fight.
And it's cool. There's a lot of, slicing, and Gorgon's like, I gotta destroy you.
Yeah, but Anna's scythe is an immortal killer, which Gorgon can't do anything against that.
Turns out, being immortal does not save you from things that kill immortals.
Yep.
Just a pro tip for all you listeners out there.
So Anna defeats Gorgon, and they both fall off a cliff, and Anna says her goodbye, and she definitely won't be back again.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Anyone who disappears will never come back.
Yeah, everyone who disappeared this episode won't come back.
Ushi Wakamaru disappeared earlier. She's never gonna be back.
Merlin's not coming back.
Merlin's not coming back. Anna's not coming back. Leonidas actually isn't coming back.
Yeah, he's sad.
He's the only one who doesn't come back. That's so sad. I mean, no one comes back. Sorry. Spoilers.
So after they win, they're like, cool, we won. But Gorgon didn't have the Grail. Turns out Enkidu has the Grail.
Yeah. And Enkidu shows up and he's like, fuck, I was hoping Gorgon would live a little bit longer. Oh, well.
And then Merlin all of a sudden starts taking damage for no reason. Turns out he wasn't actually Merlin. He was a projection of Merlin because Merlin was currently inside Tiamat's dream.
Yeah, and guess who's waking up?
Yep, and since
it's Tiamat.
And because Tiamat woke up, essentially, once someone realizes that their dream is being controlled, they can take control of the dream and basically turn it on the incubus. So Merlin gets screwed.
Yeah, basically, Enkidu, well, whatever. Enkidu's plan was, I'm going to make them kill Gorgon because I'll link Gorgon to Tiamat, so when Gorgon dies, the shock will reverberate back to Tiamat and wake up Tiamat. It's very roundabout, but you know what? It works.
Yeah.
So,
and all of a sudden, the ocean starts filling with, evil mud.
The bad mud.
The bad mud. And
it's red and spooky.
And then Tiamat wakes up, and then Gilgamesh is like, well, shit, the day's come.
Guys, it's the apocalypse. Everyone's going to die. If you don't want to die, then go to the front gate. If you feel like dying here, then you're more than welcome to stay.
And the party finally arrives, because everyone starts fast traveling now.
Yeah, they've got the birds. Ishtar can just fly.
Yeah, so they arrive back in Uruk, and then a bunch of the monsters start attacking. They call them the Lamus.
Yeah, and they shred the shit out of people, maliciously.
And they're all, laughing. And
it's creepy, and I don't like it.
They're creepy creatures.
That's one thing I was not looking forward to, was listening to the Lamus speak.
Yeah.
Because they spooky, and I don't like it.
Someone online, I guess, did a thing where they, you can actually... They're saying actual things, and someone, I don't know. It's something to do with, how they filter the audio. And you can actually... see what they're saying. Someone translated it.
You know what? That's a fun touch.
Yeah.
You know what? Good on you, fake guys. You put effort into one thing and made it actually pretty decent.
And they find out from Gilgamesh that Siduri went to one of the southern towns to go help people.
And she was tooken.
Yeah, she was tooken.
So they don't know who took her. They don't know why they took her, but they will find them. And they will kill them.
And they go to look for her, and they find that all the people are getting taken to this place and forced to essentially cage fight each other. And They don't care who wins. They're just going to kill him anyway.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Yeah.
Turns out these monsters are fucked up.
And they get there, and one of the Lamu doesn't actually attack them, which is...
Yeah.
Sad ending.
Sidori got the sad end.
Sidori got the sad end.
And so did we.
Yeah.
Much
and then,
tear.
Then Enkidu shows up, and he's all like, I'm gonna take control of the Lamu.
And then he doesn't.
Yeah, and then they just stab him in the back.
Because he's an arrogant dumbass.
Yeah, and then that's where that episode ends.
Yeah, so...
Sad Sidori ending.
Sad Sidori. Enkidu not a problem anymore, so that's a plus.
Yeah, Enkidu dumbass.
Enki dumbass.
Enki dumbass.
Hey, let's all go back to high school. But not just any high school. Let's go back to Demon High School.
So, there's barriers everywhere. It's like a big maze.
I was ready for this show to turn into a 24-style intrigue thriller, and I was going to originally meme about it on the podcast, and that's what happens. That's actually what happens.
Yep, so it keeps cutting to different people's perspectives on what's happening and what's going on. Essentially, Caligo-sensei is the one that decides, all right, I'm going to contact all the teachers. Everyone get control. Just trick the kids into thinking this is part of, like, the festival.
He is the man with the plan. I give him so much credit. Watching him leap into action is awesome.
And he's one of the only people powerful enough to break the barrier, but it just repairs itself. But he essentially creates a path all the way to the records room.
He brute forces his way through the maze.
Yeah. So he ends up going to the records room because he decides we're going to look up every single student that has the barrier ability because they're our most likely candidates.
And they do that, him and Robin. Because Robin, you know what? Robin is good for one thing.
And Amari-san decides that she is going to have the student council help because...
She's the student council president, is what they do.
And she realizes something's going on because the teachers tell her, make sure you don't make anyone nervous.
Yeah, just keep everyone calm. Don't forget to smile. And she's like, that's a weird thing to say to people. Also, where's Iruma?
Yeah, and we find out what Iruma's doing is he is sprinting full force towards Kiryu-senpai.
And Kiryu is like, because he can find people in the maze, he knows where everyone's location is.
Yeah.
He's like, how is he doing that? And then we cut to figure out how he's doing that. And it's really cool.
So Clara actually comes up with a good plan.
Earlier she saw the little paper doll demons that Kiryu made. She just makes a fuck ton of them. And then Asmodeus puts his magical energy into them and uses them to figure out where all the entrances to the barriers are. And then he, on the phone with Iruma, uses some freaking man-in-the-chair tactics to guide him through the maze.
Yep, I still think it's funny where they're talking about their plan, and Asmodeus brings out the piece of paper and draws the entire replica of the school. He's like, you remember all of that? Of course.
It was on the back of the school primer.
Yeah.
Did you not read the school primer?
I made sure to memorize it.
Because of course he did.
Yep.
That's why he's the best friend.
And next week, we'll finally see what happens between Kiryu and Iruma.
We get the final confrontation. Iruma's gonna bust up there like freaking Jack Bauer. You gotta take down the bomb, Amy.
It's too late. I already set... I'll do his voice. It's too late. I already set the bomb.
Son of a bitch. We gotta disarm this bomb. Asmodeus, flip open your bomb.
I'm assuming they're just gonna, like, toss it into the sky after he decides not to do it. It's gonna blow up, and that's gonna be the fireworks.
Yeah, and everyone's gonna be like, whoa!
That was the reward for the maze, the fireworks.
Aha, you did it, it's so cool. And everyone's gonna be like, whoa! Also, I have figured out the bit with Blonde Girl. Supplementary Blonde
Anyone who
Girl.
saves her, she falls in love with.
Exactly.
But there's a little bit at the end where she's realizing that she loves them both and can't decide.
Yeah.
So she's gonna sit there and want to get with. She wants to get in a whole
You know
little
what?
triangle.
You know what? I mean, just do it. You know what? Just 3 of them. You know, just make it the 3 of them. That's fine.
Yeah, just do it.
I
Just
mean,
do it.
Just do it. Do it. Do it.
Yeah, these people are demons. I don't think like monogamy is like a demonic concept.
Probably not. You know what? That would surprise me.
That would be weird.
That would surprise me a lot.
Hey, we have a very wholesome family values here.
I mean, there is some stuff that's like, hey, Kalego senpai or sensei, can you be a little friendlier to the students? You're kind of creeping all of them out. You're being a little too intense.
He's like, that's what demons are supposed to do.
Yeah, but you're being a little too intense.
We're a very liberal demon world now.
We are a very open and accepting demon world. Not like Darwin's game.
Yeah, where no one's accepting anyone.
Except the main character, who accepts literally everyone and anyone.
All right, I've defeated you. Congratulations, you're in my party now.
I've defeated you. Now you gotta join me or we're all dead.
So they're on the run from the florist because of his plant zombies.
Yeah.
And they end up hiding in the analyst's room because she left a pillow there to keep the door propped open.
Because she is smart, guys. Don't forget that the analyst is very smart and has plans.
They come up with a really good plan where she is going to draw their attention because turns out her sigil lets her almost have sort of like future sight where she can kind of predict probability and causality.
Yeah, her sigil is known as Laplace's Demon, which you can Google.
Yeah, it's in that and Schrodinger's cat are like the anime equivalent to, we need like a smart philosophical power.
Yeah, but you know what?
Let me do either the cat or the demon.
Exactly. It's either one of the two. And you know what? We get another Japanese thing later when the Smith shows up.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that. So she's on the run from the demons, Jesus. She's on the run from the plant zombies. And meanwhile, because his power is kind of a little busted.
Yeah, he basically, he creates like a rope to go out the window and kind of shimmy down to the first floor without the florist knowing.
I think what he does is he shimmies down a couple floors below the barricade, that's how he gets down. Because it'd be like 25 floors to get to the bottom.
And then he confronts the florist, who looks like a dude who would probably like participate in the Tour de France.
Yeah, he's got like that skin-tight bike suit on.
He's got like the Under Armour on.
As soon as he walked out with that, I was like, what the fuck?
Like, this is not how I expected that dude to look.
Oh.
It's like, did he get pulled into like the event right as he was on a jog?
Dude, maybe he was. Maybe that actually is what happened.
But yeah, they end up fighting, and it turns out his plant powers can involve making plant armor for himself.
Because seeds are tough, so plants are tough.
Yeah, haven't you heard of plants growing through concrete?
Or seeds found in ancient Mesopotamian ruins that they planted again? Whatever.
It's
weird.
It's meant to be convenient for him.
Yeah, we need a boss fight, and we can't think of how to make a guy who can
think about
form guns with his mind.
Think about the discrepancies with the sigils. That's that guy's power. And remember the dude who died in the first episode who had, I can see outlines of people.
I can see people's auras. Yay.
Put those two in a 1v1.
Yeah.
Wonder who's going to win.
Yeah. So they fight. Our main character spends a lot of time trying to figure out how to get past that.
He copies the machine gun from the guy, the PUBG guy, and the machine gun, it does enough to keep the guy on his back foot, but it can't penetrate his armor.
And he can use vines and stuff to close the distance, so it's not like he needs to exactly get super close to him.
Yeah, and he starts kicking the shit out of him before he ends up kind of backing him into a corner where the main character's like, guess I'm about to die, but then his inner voice comes back and he's like, are you sure?
You sure, you pansy?
Come on. And then there's a blacksmith inside of his mind.
Because we keep hearing the sound of a blacksmith striking
Ting,
metal. And he's like,
ting,
I don't know what that is, but
ting.
it's strangely soothing.
And then the blacksmith's working on swords. He's like, yeah, I just sit here and work on swords. But this gun's pretty well crafted.
You did a good job, kid. Oh, thank you, swordsmith. I guess I did do a good job on my gun.
And the smith essentially tells him that, because he's like, I can't penetrate his armor. And the smith tells him, what are you talking about? This thing can totally penetrate that armor.
This is a fucking machine gun. If he needs a shield for standard bullets, just make them better. Just make it better. That's his solution. Just do it better.
Your power is making things. Just make better things.
Just make better things, you dummy.
And then he does.
And then he makes better things.
and he beats the florist, and the florist is like, all right, well, I guess I lost, so
I
you
got
can
heart
shoot me.
disease, so you might as well just shoot me now.
And he's like, no. And then the analyst shows up, and he's like, hey, we spent all this time fighting each other, weakening each other, and there's still a whole other battle royale to go.
One of them is Wang.
Yeah.
And
So they're like, they're totally going to come here,
yeah.
and we're all going to get fucked.
So join my party.
Yep.
And the florist is like, well, shit, you got me there, kid. So we get a little more... We're starting to understand his power a little bit, because we know that it's not unlimited now, because he just keeps spawning shit in his hands, and he's like, hey, turns out that's actually kind of tiring.
Yeah.
But now he can also alter the composition of his things. So I think we're gonna get the name of his sigil now, and I hope it's something like Muramasa or something really dumb like that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Hephaestus.
Toilet-bound Hanako-kun.
Let's talk about ghosts, guys.
So there's another rumor about apparently one of the second wonder of the school is the bloody step, like the fourth step in the hallway.
Yeah, if you step on this certain step, you get abducted to Stepland.
Yeah, and you get ripped apart into a bunch of different pieces.
Because you know what? All of this school's rumors are very dangerous. This is a dangerous-ass school.
Mm-hmm.
Especially considering the fact that having a rumor about some of this shit makes it true. This is a very dangerous school.
And Nene's friend ends up going missing because she stepped on the step, and no one remembers her, not even her parents.
Yeah, she is wiped from existence.
And she brings it up to Hanako, and he mentions that essentially people that cross over to the spirit world, their existence is erased in our world.
There are a lot of these borders, too. One of them being on the staircase.
So they decide to go and help, and of course...
The priest shows up.
Yeah, the exorcist shows up, and he's like, well, I'm coming with you guys. And he's like, that's fine, but I have no obligation to protect you.
So if you get shredded, that's not my fault. And he's like, fine. I'll be saved by you anyway, you dumb ghost.
And they go to the spirit world, and it's a bunch of stairs and lanterns. It looks nice.
Yeah, I like the vision. This is a very... visually interesting series.
I'd say this show and Somali are two of my favorite to look at.
Yeah. I love the art style with the character design in particular in this show, I think stands out the most.
It reminds me of the Kimetsu no Yaiba character designs.
Yeah.
Which I want to know if they have maybe the same artist, since this is like a light novel series. I don't know if the light novel artist is the same as the mangaka for that.
That's a good question. I'm not sure. But they're in this spooky place, and they get a phone call from a telephone that is a rotary phone.
And it turns out it's the ghost of the woman from the stairs.
It was the box ghost.
So she's like, find my arm.
I was cut into bunches of little pieces. I was a teacher who used to teach here, and I died in that exact spot. So find my arm, please.
And they go looking for it, and...
They spend a lot of time fucking around.
Yeah, they spend a lot of time fucking around. Nene finally finds it, and they spend too much time fucking around that they run out of time, and so the place starts trying to destroy them.
Yeah, all these spooky dolls are like, we're gonna get you because class has started and you're not in class.
And then I didn't know it was gonna, actually try and kill them, but yeah, so giant scissors almost completely decapitate them.
Yes, it is literally dangerous.
And they finally get through, and then they realize they have to keep going.
I like how they get through, because
they just have to rush up and toss it in.
Everyone finds a different arm. Hanako finds a robot arm. The exorcist finds a beefy wooden man arm.
And she's like, you guys didn't even try. And she found a mannequin's arm of a woman's arm.
This is an actual woman's arm. But in their panic, they just pick one up and throw it, and it's the muscular man arm, and it actually works. Stuff like that makes me chuckle.
And the phone rings again when they're on the other side, and Hanako's like, hey, number 2, it's me. You remember me? And she's like, find my other arm, and just hangs up on him.
Yeah, that didn't go over very well.
So they just have to keep going until they finally reach her, and at the end, they basically go through the gauntlet of just finding all the body parts.
Yeah, they need to find all the body parts, and they need to fight her, and they need to save the students of the school.
Yeah, so they make it to the end, and that's where the episode ends. So we'll see what happens next week.
Next week. I'm looking forward to it. I like this show, and I think it's interesting.
Hatena Illusion. Hatena is a bitch. She's the worst.
Not only is her face drawn ugly on the outside, but she's an ugly person on the inside.
Like, I get the whole, like, she's a tsundere, but she's just, like, there's even a part where she's like, I admit everything is my fault. All this bad stuff is my fault, but still, you forgot our promise. And it's like,
yeah.
It's annoying.
She just...
Yeah.
It's not even tsundere at that point. It's just being a bitch.
Yeah.
Um,
it's a fine line, and she's
crossed it.
Yeah.
So,
in this episode, they get in a fight in the first part because Hatena's a bitch, and then in the second half, we find out that the blonde lady is actually her aunt, and she's there to steal the relics.
Yeah, it turns out the person who was asking a lot of real suspicious questions about them relics stole one.
And so Hatena goes to fight her, but loses, but then Makoto realizes his thing gives him a magical transformation.
He forms a pact with the thing, finally.
Ergetlam.
Yeah, I saw that, and I was like, oh, Alex is going to have a fucking field day with that.
Yep.
Turns out the whole thing is like, thieves can only steal one thing and have it be acceptable. Yeah, that made me audibly groan. That was a groaner right there, because that is some dumb bullshit.
Yeah.
This show does not look good, and the plot is not very good.
Yeah, it stopped looking good real fast, which isn't a good sign.
Yeah, it fucking tanked.
And I don't really enjoy the characters that much.
I don't either. Like, it's... Even the villain was like, ha ha ha, I am the villain. And then they do some they fight, but they don't really fight.
Yeah, they just, like, he does a bunch of, like, oh, magic stuff, and she's like, ah, and just does, like, the guard, even though nothing hits her.
Yeah, she takes a knee after some stuff falls around her, and she's like, you may have beaten me this time.
But we'll be back.
At which point I was like, hold on. You have not taken a single hit in this fight. You are fine.
Or not even, like, a significant one.
You are fine, dude. You could just keep fighting. You're kicking the shit out of him.
This is his first battle.
And you know what? He's a very proficient fighter, I guess.
But yeah, it's not something I'm enjoying.
No, this show took a lot of downturns real quick.
So I'm gonna say I want to cut it.
Yeah, let's oust this boy from the classroom.
Bippity boppity boo.
Bippity boppity bitch.
Bippity boppity bitch.
We dropped ya. Goodbye.
Abracadabra, fuck off.
Yeah, let's talk about a show we actually like, Somali and the Forest Pirates.
Somali.
3, the dead,
they need to cross the desert, but Golem Daddy don't got enough money for that.
Yeah, he's broke. So what do you do when you're broke?
You get a job.
You get a job.
Dad's gotta get a job.
You bum.
So he gets a job at a restaurant.
And
Somali actually becomes friends with the owner's, is it a son?
I think it might be a daughter, only because he looks more like his mother, and they're both...
The owner's child.
Yeah, the owner's non-specifically gendered child. And they all hang out, and they're all like, whoa, let's have fun in a restaurant. And the golem's like, haha, here's the nutritional values of your meal. And the owner's like, let's skip that part.
And of course, he's like, Somali, don't run off or go anywhere dangerous. And then the other kid's like, man, your dad shouldn't be telling you all these things of what to do.
Let's go run off somewhere dangerous.
And there's a man with, like a wolf man, sort of watching them the whole time.
He's a wolf man with wings on his head.
Yeah.
I doubt the purpose of those wings. I don't think they serve any real purpose.
And they go to some underground area to collect something.
Basically, Somali comes to the realization in this episode that their journey's going to end. But at the bottom of this weird fungal pit, there's flowers. And the rumor behind these flowers is if you dig one up and you take it back to the surface while it's still alive, it will grant you a wish. So naturally, their thought process
they're two kids, so they're like, oh, well, that's got to work 100%.
This is flawless. There's nothing that could possibly go wrong.
Turns out dangerous fungus monsters.
Yeah, there's bad fungus in this weird fungus pit, and it's carnivorous.
And it looks like they're about to get killed by the monsters when boom, Wolfman shows up with a crossbow.
Yeah. And he's like, haha, I took away that monster, but this was also a waste of my time. Come on, kids. What are you doing?
Yeah,
what are
come
you
on,
doing?
kids.
He shows up and he's basically like, I've finally found you. And I think, much like that one episode of SpongeBob, it's going to be very harmless. He's just going to be like, I saw you kids coming in here as dangerous. Let's go.
Yeah. We tied it back to SpongeBob. We did it, guys.
We did it, guys. You can all go home now. But don't go home because we're only halfway down the list.
Yeah. But we're going to move on to Show by Rock.
I was very into this episode.
Yep, so at the end of the last episode, we didn't even mention it last week just because there was so much other stuff to talk about, but I think we forgot about it. But they're just chilling out in, like, the burger shop, and a dude gets thrown through the window.
A bee guy comes flying in through the window and sticks into the wall.
But,
and now we learn about those characters.
Yeah, so they're another band besides our heroines. They're a group of bad boys.
They're a group of renegade bad boys.
And their story is hilarious. So they go to some school, and their school essentially had them do it because of community service, because they would fight all the time. And the narrator describes it as like an epic battle where they destroyed the school flower bed. They called it the Battle of the Cosmos.
And it was so... This was so disastrous that the repercussions reached the school board. It's so good.
And they take everything to the extreme, and he's sitting there and he's like, you guys might not be able to graduate. And the dude in the red who coughs a lot, apparently he's really sick, he's just sitting there, he's like, I can't not graduate. What have these 6 years been for?
We learn about each of these characters.
Dude's been in high school for 6 years because apparently he's very sick.
He is the Death Phoenix King. He is so sickly that he can't spend enough time in school, so he gets held back for 6 years.
Yeah, this is a grown-ass man at this point, not even a teenage boy.
Yeah, he's just a dude.
And they apparently get told to become a band together in order to do community service, and they always fight at their shows. And the girls actually go to one of their shows and watch them, and they're like, one of the other ones is like, yeah, that's kind of how all of their shows end.
It would be better if they didn't fight. And they're like, yeah, let's go do our thing while they commence the story.
And they fight outside, and then after a bunch of Yakuza guys show up, and they're like, hey, what are you guys thinking?
They're like other school ruffians. I wouldn't go so far as to call these dudes Yakuza.
Other school ruffians with the missile hair.
And they are all bears. They are all tiny bears.
And again, the sickly guy, his power-up thing before the fight is to take his medicine.
He takes medicine. He's like, hold on, guys. Takes his medicine, drinks with water, because you can't just dry swallow them pills.
Some people can. That's a hidden talent.
I don't know how they can. It's inhuman.
But yeah, he takes his pills, and then after he powers up.
And he shoots fire out of his hands. Holy shit.
And they obviously destroy these bears.
Because they're used to fighting each other, and they're each competent opponents. Because basically the four of them, there's one guy who really loves the bento his mom makes, a bee guy who is extremely loud all the time, and a despicable guy who's smarter than everyone and uses traps and trickery.
He comes up with different methods to always help him win a fight.
He's a schemer.
But yeah, so they don't get along, and they all go their separate ways until...
Then they go back to their manager, and their manager's like, all right, guys, since you keep destroying the venues, you're lucky that I'm not asking you to pay me.
Yeah, so you guys, to make up for it, are going to play next week's show because we have an opening there.
So please, for the love of God, don't destroy this one.
Yeah, and then while they're on their way back, it turns out the school ruffians show back up, and they stole the bento that his mom made him for that guy, and he's like, I can't fight back or they'll destroy that bento.
Fight back and we'll destroy the bento, which is just amazing.
And then the sickly dude shows up, and he decides to try to come in and help him, but they steal his medicine.
He gets a couple of good licks, but can't fight without his meds.
But then the other two show up, and then they all team up together and just beat the crap out of these guys.
Team up for special attack.
And they're like, oh man, we're going to be late for our show. And the crowd up there is pissed. But they go out, they play, and it's not a bad song. And
I kind of liked it.
And our main our main girl actually likes watching them because she's like, hey, their music's actually really good.
Their music's better this time, and everyone's like, yeah, it's probably good that they didn't erupt into a fist fight at the end of their show.
And we see they have some trust with each other now.
Guys, Team Unity. Team Unity is coming up.
Now, I wonder if that's going to be the thing with this, is we're going to like look at like different like bands and characters.
I think that'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Because I probably would, if everyone's story is as eccentric and weird as these guys are, I probably wouldn't mind joining different bands.
Yeah, just keep everything cranked to 11.
Exactly. If you can keep it to 11, you got a good thing going. Or maybe we'll just bounce between the two. Because honestly, I loved watching these guys interact. I like their group dynamic.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I'd be fine bouncing around, because I don't want them to just be gone forever.
Yeah. I want them to come back.
Also, this is to promote a mobile game, which I'm assuming these guys are characters in, so I'm assuming you want to promote the characters as much as possible, especially if it's like a gacha game. You want people to feel like they're getting their money's worth.
Exactly. And this, once again, has a surprising amount of, like, actual thought put into the production of it. Like,
I also thought their little chibi version looked a lot better than the first episode did.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a good episode.
I'm looking forward to seeing more.
Seton Academy, join the pack. I did like some of the ideas, how they take with some of the animals. Like, the class president is a naked mole rat, and of course, wearing clothes for her is lewd.
Yeah, so whenever she goes out and she has to wear clothes, she's like, how can all these degenerates go about like this?
And in her vision, she's looking at everyone, and everybody is censored
all
besides
the
their
clothes.
heads.
But basically, she's all like, guys, we can't have... Because
interspecies relations.
That's how mole rats, or naked mole rat society works. They're kind of sequestered underground. And
they function like bees.
Yeah.
They have like a queen and workers.
And the student council president is their queen.
I even like the little naked mole rats, like the little
They're
dudes. They're going around like a camera crew.
Because she's like, get me more intel on this cooking club.
Yeah, and they're kind of following around because she thinks that Jin is trying to create like an interspecies harem.
When he is trying to do explicitly the opposite.
Oh, and then we meet Lion, who's a really great character.
Lion is also very good.
So Jin gets called by the Lion, and his harem shows up to like take him. It's like, our king has called you. You can't refuse.
They just show up and they kidnap him.
But yeah, so this big lion dude with this big black mane is sitting there, and he's like, I need your help. I'm in love with what species is she? It's not a gazelle. It's a.
It's not an ibex either, but it's kind of like an ibex.
I think there's a car. An impala.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's in love with an impala, and he doesn't know how to really approach her because Jin's trying. He's like, I need your help. You have an interspecies harem, right?
Tell me how to do it. Give me the tips. And he's like, no, I don't do that. Go to someone else.
He's like, you should just go and talk to her. He's like, all right, I will. And of course, naturally, she as an impala is terrified when this lion just shows up staring at her like, huh.
It's like Big Cat in Africa Salaryman. He just shows up and is intimidating.
He just chases her around constantly.
And it's not working.
Yeah. So he's like, maybe I should just give up, when all of a sudden one of the bad lions at the school, or like another lion that's jealous of him,
he's got a ruffian haircut. Yeah. That's how you know he's a bad guy.
He's like, hey, Big Cat, I saw you looking at this impala right here. Would be a shame if something were to happen to her.
He's got a hostage, guys. We gotta take the shot. Take the shot.
But then because he's threatening her, he just makes Lion super mad.
He goes literally Super Saiyan and kicks the shit out of that dude's subordinates.
Yeah, so he beats up that guy, and then after he apologizes to her and he tells her that he actually just wanted to talk to her.
Well, he doesn't beat up that guy. He beats up everyone else and then cuts off his own mane.
Yeah.
Causing his harem to leave him.
Because they were just with him for his mane.
Yeah, that's because that's how lions work.
Yeah, so they're just like, oh, and they're like, all right, well,
call us when your hair grows back.
And so they leave. And so he's like, now they won't bother you because my harem has left me. And he's like, listen, I just wanted to talk to you. And then he's like, I'm seeking to mate with you. And she's just like, well, I'm not really in heat right now, so can we just be friends first? He's like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, totally, let's do that. And then they're friends. So student council president she comes out with that ultimatum immediately broken.
Because she shows up and she's just like, it's clear that Jin was trying to get other people to partake in interspecies harems, but then all of the rat people end up... she's going to see him, and then the cat girl shows up, and they're rats, so of course they're afraid of the cat. And they're like, listen, they're like, President, you just go on, we'll hold her off.
She has like a personal guard of like rugged, muscly mole rats, and they're like, don't worry about us, we'll stall her here, you go on your mission.
And then she goes ahead, and then she goes and accuses Jin of like basically creating interspecies harems, and she wants to disband the club, but then her rats show back up with
I like how her demand to him is, if you want to prove that you're
kick
not
out all
trying
the
to do it,
non-humans.
and he's like, that's great, tell me more. Let's do it.
I do
I'm
like how
down.
I do like how he's kind of a shitbag.
I mean, he has one objective, and everyone else is getting in the way.
Yeah, he just wants to bang the human.
You know what? That's admirable.
And then she shows up and she asks him, like, to do that. But then the other rats show up and they're like, listen, the wolf girl actually saved us from the cat.
Holy
I think
shit.
these might be good people.
They might actually just want to be friends. And you know what? Not everyone else. Everyone besides Jin does.
Yeah. And so they're willing to give him, like, they're going to leave him alone for now.
But we've got our eye on you, Cooking Club man.
Also, the ending of this show, like, I think it's meant to be bad singing on purpose.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Basically, it's sung by the wolf character.
Yeah, like in character.
And she sounds like a child, like a literal toddler.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, you know what she reminds me of? There was this show a while ago called Bravest Warriors, and one of the characters was called Catbug, and it was a little cat ladybug. And it was literally, and I'm not joking about this, voiced by a toddler that the production people just followed around with a microphone and recorded everything she said. That's what Wolf reminds me of.
Kind of reminds me of, like, Ike from South Park.
Yeah. But anyway, it's good shit.
Inspector.
Also good shit.
So to sum up the snake part, because that's the first half of the episode, she essentially just bullshits her way through it.
Yeah, she bullshits pretty hard. She's like, she must have, I don't know, dumped a fetus into there and was like, I hope they find you. And then she dumped the body up there so the police would find it, but they didn't because you clean it.
Yeah, and then then Koro's like, so was any of that true? And she's like, nah, it just sounds plausible.
I don't know. I just needed something to get him to accept it. That's a good god of wisdom right there. Yeah. Fuck it. As long as he believes it, it's fine.
Which, I guess that is fine. Because
it is.
Who cares what the snake that lives in a lake thinks?
What would he do if they had actually solved the mystery?
Yeah, what would he do with it? He just needed to be satisfied. That's it.
Exactly. So they solve the mystery, quote unquote, and then fuck off.
And then the next part, we see Saki-san, Koro's former girlfriend.
Yeah, she's a traffic cop.
Yep, she's a police officer now.
She's a traffic cop.
Yeah. And they learn about the fact that a lot of people are mysteriously dying.
We get a nice sequence where a dude is talking to his friend on the phone while he's driving. He's like, yeah, dude, I went out on a date. She had huge boobs. And then we cut to a ghost in the way of his car that also has huge boobs. And don't worry, guys, they will keep mentioning it. They will continuously mention this throughout the entire episode.
Yeah. Don't worry. They'll mention it a lot longer than just this episode.
The ghost, why? Why?
Why? Because it has big boobs.
So everyone, guys, that ghost has really big titties.
Although I suppose if there was like a ghost situation with what you expect, like imagine an actual ghost was attacking you, but it had huge tits. That would be really distracting. It'd be like, this is scary, but why is that ghost so stacked?
Why is the ghost so buxom? You got a good point.
Yeah, I feel like that's worth mentioning.
That's fair. Basically, there's a lot of weird shit going on because the ghost is going around causing weird shit.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of rumors about it starting to spread and all that.
So she gets confronted by a cop she turned down.
Yeah, because he wants to go out with her, but she keeps going on about how she's not over her ex-boyfriend.
It's traumatic. I can't eat meat because we had it as our last thing and it's fine, don't worry about it. And then she's eating meat the next day and he's like, well, I realized
I feel like you get a new excuse for me every day.
After that moment, I realized that I can't let the past weigh me down and I should just eat whatever I want.
So does that mean we're good to go out again? No. It's still too traumatic. But yeah, she's walking home one day when all of a sudden Kotoko flies out of nowhere at her and she catches her.
Yeah, because that's what she does. She's a good cop.
And she's like, "Are you okay?" And Kotoko replies to her, "This pain is nothing compared to the pain of being deflowered."
Because Kotoko's social skills are a little lacking.
Yeah. Yeah, she's like, "Why would you bring up such a graphic analogy?" She's like, "It's the most painful thing that happened to me. What did you want me to compare it to?"
And you know what? Something about that, just like thinking about it now, her later statements make a lot more sense of like, that's inappropriate. But basically, Big Titty Ghost comes out and is like, because she doesn't say anything because she's a ghost.
And she has no face.
Yeah, it's hard. Guys, it's hard to speak when you have no face.
And also,
I have no face, but I must scream.
And think about this. Everyone's talking about her tits. You can't do the, like, my face is up here.
Because it's not. Oh my God, is that a thing? Is that why she has no face? Because she's so stacked?
That's not the reason why, but we'll find out the reason why. But, like, it's just, it goes hand in hand with it.
It is.
But, yeah, so she's like, "No, I ran away from the Kappa. I ran away from Koro. I'm not going to run away again.
I'm going to kick the shit out of this ghost."
And she goes to punch it, and her fist goes through it because it's a ghost.
Because it's a ghost.
And then she's like, "Oh no, am I going to die?" And then Kotoko's like, "This is why I told you to stay away."
And she tackles the ghost.
Yeah, she goes and kicks it because she's got, like, yokai powers.
Yeah, she can hit... She has the power to punch ghosts.
And she moves pretty well for someone with a prosthetic leg.
Yeah, unfortunately, she moves a little too well and the prosthetic comes off.
Yep.
So she with one leg kicks the shit out of a ghost.
Yeah, she loses the leg, but with her other leg lands on the steel beam that she's carrying around, jumps, pushes herself off with that, and kicks it right in the face.
And it's awesome.
Or its lack thereof.
Yeah, it is the space where its face formerly was.
It's cool. It's a cool scene.
It's really cool.
And doing damage to it apparently made it decide it's going to flee for the night.
You know what? That hurt. I'm going to leave for now, but I'll be back.
And she's like, "Yeah, she's like, are you a ghost too?" And she's like, "Nah, I'm something in between. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here because I really don't want to deal with the police and all that."
Yeah, I don't want the police showing up. And then she's like, "Bitch, I am the police. You're coming with me. You're coming downtown."
And then she realizes after she reads her badge, the name, she's like, "Oh!" She's like, "Oh, man, you're Saki-san. Well, if I knew that before, I wouldn't have saved you. Well, I wouldn't have let you die, but..."
I wouldn't have gone out of my way. And then she's like, I'm sorry, have we met before?"
She's like, "We met, but this is our first formal greeting. I am Kotoko Iwanaga, and I am Kuro's current girlfriend."
This is met with a clenched fist and a sock to the jaw.
Yeah, she doesn't actually really hit her. She just bops her.
Yeah, but that's where we leave off. So next episode, we're going to get probably another very awkward conversation between them.
And this is the Steel Lady Nanase arc, so this is going to take us through a good portion of the show.
We have met our villain.
Yeah. I hate getting hurt, so I pumped all my skill points into defense.
Guys, they patched it.
Guys, they patched the game. I was so happy.
They finally patched it.
She can only use her insta-kill by touching the shield move 10 times a day.
Which is... It's still kind of a busted move, but you know what? They nerfed her.
They did nerf her.
They also nerfed some stuff in, like, the AI and the other algorithms, so that total defense is a lot harder to get now, so people won't just go out and let monsters bash their brains against their chest.
Yeah, so good on them. They should still nerf her total defense.
They should. Nerf this diva.
Nerf this.
Nerf this.
So, Level 2 opens up.
And then they don't go to it because they still haven't explored Level 1.
And they're like, "Hey, there's a creepy ghost forest, but like you can get like the scroll of super speed or something. I don't know."
They're eating at a cafe, which I was a little curious about how this worked. They are eating at the cafe, and they're like, "Oh, this is so delicious! Oh my god, it's a helmet. It's a helmet.
It's not, as far as I know, it's not full dive because there's gloves you wear too.
Yeah. So how can they? You know what? I'm not gonna worry about that right now.
Yeah, one of the guys that was also in the competition, I think he took like second place.
He was second. Yes, because she was third.
He's like, hey, yeah, if you want a good place to check out this forest.
That's where there's a quest for like sonic speed or some scroll like that. But it might be hard for a couple of girls.
But they decide to go anyway, and it turns out it's full of ghosts and stuff. And even though
it's spooky,
Sally is a elite gamer,
she is terrified of ghosts.
Yeah, it's the horror section.
There's a lot of ghosts this week, guys.
A lot of ghosts.
Someone called Danny Phantom in the Ghostbusters, because there's a lot of ghosts.
And his molecules got all rearranged. Gotta catch him all because he's Danny Phantom.
Danny Phantom.
That was a good show.
That was a good show. Danny Phantom was a good anime.
So yeah, they go and there's a guy in the basement of like this house.
Whoa!
And they just keep healing him. Oh!
No!
But they heal him enough that he ascends to heaven and leaves the scroll behind.
Yes, they did the quest. It was to go to a basement and heal a man a bunch.
How do you do that quest if you're not a healer?
You don't. You get your healer buddy or you hire a healer to do it for you. Other than that, you can get fucked, I guess.
And they end up going to, or Sally shows her Maple a place where it's a nice beach at sunset. That's just always sunset.
Yeah, and they each get a little red pearl gem thing as like a souvenir.
Yeah, and then they got to go to the next area, and to do that, they have to fight some monsters and then a boss.
Yeah, and then they do that, and it's fine.
Yeah, and Maple actually loses consciousness in the fight.
Basically, it's like
I'm glad that despite being the OP title character, that she's not the one that does everything.
Yeah, I kind of like that as well.
And in fact, Sally at one point is like, I guess I have to solo this.
And she does it. She does it fine.
Yeah, they fight some plant monster.
It's like a plant monster that takes the form of a crazy stag, and then it gets like some cool-ass stained glass effects on it when Sally's fighting it, and it gets to stage 2. It's a cool-looking fight.
Yeah.
I think the fights with Sally are cool.
Yeah, there's got to be something in there for people, I guess, to go back to the older towns, because otherwise they're just going to be ghost towns.
I would certainly hope so, but given these developers' track record, they probably didn't think that out.
That's true.
Crafting Girl is also there, because she made a new shield for Maple, and it's white. And it maxes vitality, because she's like, you know what? I will help you with your busted-ass build.
Also, I don't know if she's going to be using it, because we never see her in, using anything but her shield that matches her armor.
Probably not.
Unless it's like, maybe. My shield ate that shield, and now that shield has the powers of that shield.
You know what? That would be some bullshit, but I could totally see that happening. I also like seeing Maple get progressively more and more busted, even though she doesn't fight any of the bosses.
We got a lot of shield people now in anime. We gotta have her, Maple, Mosh, and Naofumi fight.
Everyone just stands around shielding.
The battle of the defense.
Who has the highest vitality?
Who has the highest attack power, actually, out of all of them?
That's a good question.
Because that's going to be the thing that's going to make it, progress.
Definitely not Maple. She is a two-trick pony. She has Devour and she has Hydra.
Actually, wait, Naofumi would win, because
he has so many shields.
Like Blood Maiden or whatever.
Yeah, dude. Iron Blood Maiden. Iron Maiden's new album, Blood Maiden.
Yeah, so he'd win and then pass out and die.
Yep.
Actually, I don't know, because that probably, Lord of Camelot would just not...
Just block it.
So Masha wins because Naofumi loses.
Yeah.
He, beats himself.
Now, you know what? Self-sacrifice stuff is not a very good idea, guys.
Yeah.
Guys, let's be real.
But yeah, we're getting off topic, but yeah, that's the episode.
I'm looking forward to more of these shows except Hatena Illusion.
Because that's gone.
So if you want to follow up on that show that's not very good, I don't know why you would want to, but you got to do that on your own time.
It's not going to be here.
It's up to you, Space Cowboy.
But if you like all the other stuff, continue to watch us. Like our YouTube channel. You like, subscribe, do all that stuff, the YouTube things. You know how YouTube works. It's been around a long time.
Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. And on other stuff, such as Google Play Music, Spotify, iTunes Music, all that stuff, feel free to subscribe on any of those forms of media. And find us on social media.
Yeah, Twitter and Facebook at Protagonist Seat.
We post updates to things.
Just that. Just updates to things.
That's it. If you want to keep up with us, see when episodes go live, follow us on that.
Sometimes I post other stuff on the Twitter.
Yeah.
Like how I was so happy that they patched New World Online.
You know what? It had to happen eventually.
But yeah, so check us out on other stuff, stick with us, and we will see you next time.
Yeah, thanks for hanging around.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.